So last week I talked about goals. Last week was the week between Christmas and New Year's, as I have talked about how much I enjoy that week, because it's a chance for me to reflect on the last year and look ahead to the next year. And that's what I did in last week's video. And I told you that I would then this week tell you a little bit about what I had come up with for the goals and kind of how I'd set them up. Because last week when I recorded this, I had not done that yet. And I took then a few days after the recording of the video, that's when I sat down and really got into it. I had jotted down a few ideas in my journal, but I hadn't really zeroed in on what my goals were going to be. And as you may recall, that was one of my goals, is to have better focus and to zero in on things. And so that's what I did at the end of last week. And so here we are now in 2023. Happy New Year. I said that last week, but I'll say it again. We're here in 2023. And I want to go through a little bit about how my goals ended up working out and the concepts within them. And I'm going to focus on really two of the pages. I showed you last week I have a multiple page document that I kind of glance through, but I zero in on each morning 2 to 3 pages more than anything else just as I'm going through. And quite honestly, it takes me about 2 minutes each morning to go through this, because I'm just reminding myself, yep, this is what I'm focused on today. This is where I want to get to. These are some of the things I want to do. So I kind of, I'll read through some things in particular, but I'll glance at others. The page that I added last year that I added it late, so I'm now going to really zero in and focus on it this year, is my top 20% I need to focus on. Okay, because this is my thing. I need to focus better. If I had to pick my word for the year, it would probably be focus. I know a lot of people do what's your word this year, and that's great. I think I had focus last year in my mind as that, because that's just an area I need to be better at. So this is one of the great things about your own goal setting, is it helps you focus your attention on what do I need to focus on, all right? What are the things that I need to get zeroed in on? And so for me, I list some things that are, to me, the top 20%, the things that if I put most of my attention to that, I can be my best and I can do my best at the various things I'm trying to do. Maybe the one of the ways I look at it is most bang for your buck, so to speak. Part of it is financial. You know, I know that if I devote a certain amount of time to some of these things more than others, that certainly will help me in terms of what I'm trying to accomplish professionally. But I also know that these things that I'm focused on here are also going to help the most people if I really zero in on them. So my first one is presentations. You know, as you know, I'm a speaker with Proactive Coaching, and we speak all around the country on athletic and leadership and team building concepts, trying to help coaches become the best they can be, becoming coaches of significance, all those types of things. You've heard me speak about those things before, right? I want to be really zero in this year on getting more presentations, getting out to more schools, getting out to more businesses, fire departments. I speak to our fire department. I'm going to be speaking to them here in February and March. Okay. I speak to our fire departments. I want to speak to more fire departments because they fit right in with these concepts of team and leadership and working together. And so I want to do more of that. I want to speak to more entire school districts, because that's something else I've done, businesses. So that's going to be a focus for me. Try to get to more of them, but at the same time, not only get to more of them, but more of the people who they then affect, because that's what this is all about. You know, I try to work with coaches and leaders and athletic directors and teachers and now, like I say, fire departments, but especially the coaching and teaching room, because then they can affect that many more kids and try to help. What one of my major goals in life is help as many kids as possible have a positive experience, especially through athletics. Well, that's to me one of the ways that one of the best ways for me to really have that effect is to get in front of that many more people. And so I want to do more presentations. So I'm going to zero in on trying to get out in front of more people. My next one was videos of those presentations. I've had a guy do a couple of videos of me doing presentations that I've turned into videos that you can buy on my site. Okay. And now I've had him do a couple more, but I haven't done anything with those yet. And so I want to have him again work to develop those. And then I need to put snippets of them on my site, because if I'm a presenter, I'm a speaker who goes around and speaks, but my site, my website doesn't show what I'm like speaking and what some of those concepts are that I'm talking about, then that's not helping me get in front of more people. So it's like, duh, Scott, why didn't you do that sooner? And so now I at least have the capability to do it now. I just got to get back with this guy and let's get this thing going this year. So that's my second area. My third area is online courses. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, during the pandemic, I created an online course for coaches called Your Coaching Journey. I have since then switched my website provider, where I host my website and deal with all that. And so that also meant that I had dropped the place where that course was. And so I want to re-record that course, plus I have other ideas for courses in mind. But especially that course, I want to get that re-recorded, get that back up, and get that out to people. Because again, that's a great way to get the messages out to that many more people. And so that concept, and I use the term bang for your buck, and it's not the money I'm focused on, although that'll be a nice byproduct of it. Bang for my buck, meaning the things that I do can get out to that many more people and help that many more people. Okay. And so those are the biggies for me this year. Those are my top three. My fourth one is basketball camps. Now that's a much more narrowed down one, because it's here in my community. I do basketball camps for my kids. I'm a basketball coach. I coach 7th and 8th grade basketball, but then I also, in the off seasons, actually even during the season, but in the off seasons, I'll provide some basketball camps for various ages in our community. And so I want to do more of those, because last year I had my foot surgery in late April. I couldn't do any basketball camps. I couldn't walk. I was on crutches for quite a while. Wasn't going to be in the cards for me last year. And so this year I want to really zero in on those, because again, while I'm not doing that I'd love to do videos of basketball camps and get that out to, thousands of kids. I can at least affect many kids in our own community here by putting on more camps. After that, I've got some other things with my books and things like that, but that's my top four that I'm going to zero in on and focus on. And so then the next page is my actual goals with a timeline here of when I'd like to achieve them by. And they are set up to zero in on those areas that I just talked about, as well as the ones down a little further. I had said last week, well, I ended up with 15 goals last year, and that's too much and all. Well, I actually have one more on this sheet than I did last year, and so I'm thinking, Scott, you were going to narrow your focus. But quite honestly, I'm zeroed in on about 7 of these things for the year, with the other 8, 9, whatever it might be, to be things that, if once I can accomplish those, if that goes as well as I would like it to, then I can get focused on these other things. So they're more secondary types of elements in my goals than they are the primary ones, because the primary ones are focused mainly on, like I say, that top 20, those first 4 in the top 20%. Okay. And then I have my affirmation sheet here that shows the affirmations that I read each morning, as well as the key to those, the commitments to those affirmations. And that's really what's a key word. That could be a key word for me this year is commitment. I got these goals. I'm trying to do all these types of things, but now what am I going to commit to make sure I work to achieve them? Because as I said last week, the goals are out there in the distance. Very important to have them out there. But the key to getting to those out there is, what am I doing every single day? What are my habits that I'm doing each day that will get me to those out there? Remember Alan Stein saying on our podcast episode 31, I can't remember off the top of my head, but his quote, are the habits you have today on par with the dreams you have for tomorrow? And that's the concept. I've got those goals and dreams out there. What am I doing each day? That will be a key to it. And so that's why I put my goals in writing and I try to have my top 20% that I get focused on, and let's see if we can't get there. So figure out what will work best for you, and good luck with your goals and have fun with them. Next week we'll be on to something different, but I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Hey, and by the way, as I said before about trying to spread our word more, one thing I'd love to do is build my email list. That's one of my goals, build my email list up that much more. So if you've not subscribed to my our email list, make sure you get on the Slam Dunk Success site and do so. If you're not subscribed to this video channel, make sure you subscribe to that as well. Because again, the more people we can get involved, the more people we can spread these words to. And then let other people know about what we're doing. Forward these videos and forward my newsletter. I say my newsletter, it's basically a recap reminding you, hey, go check out the podcast from Monday and check out this video. I'll probably be doing a little bit more writing in terms of like posts and that, because I missed that, but we'll see, because that's not part of my 20% right now. So we'll see if we get to something like that. But anyway, I'd love it if you'd spread the word about these, and come back next week and we'll have something totally different for you. We'll talk to you then.